Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Gemini. So Gemini, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. So Gemini, I have to confess that I am very excited for your reading today because despite it starting the way that it's starting, in a way that is showing you how there's still a distorted factor in your co-creation that perhaps is preventing you from fully manifesting the life that you want, the project that you want, or whatever it is that you want to materialize and experience like a life of abundance, really, because it's the central card here. It's like flying higher than you thought you could, right? And the reason why I'm excited for you, Gemini, is because I feel like you are completely aware of the thing that is still holding you back in a sense, or still not allowing you to really dive into this life of abundant manifestations in your life. So there is this big healing, but I feel like it's one that it doesn't require somebody else, right? And now just saying that, because I feel like what you're going to see here and what I am translating for you, it's almost like you already know that, you already remember that, but you need kind of like this trigger to receive the remembrance, right? Because it's going to feel like this returning home type of feeling, returning to your heart type of feeling. So in that sense, that brings this immense healing, right? And I feel like that's because you know where the wound is. So let's start with the wound, right? So the Three of Swords is beginning your reading today, Gemini. And what this was showing me is this distortion in the co-creation field. Because to me, the number 3 represents co-creation, but being the Three of Swords, it is bringing the traditional meaning of, the deceit and the treason, or cheating, or lying, or, all of those distorted co-creations, right? Or consequences of a co-creation. And I feel like that's because you already know exactly what that is, right? There is no mistake, there is no misunderstanding, there is no confusion. You know exactly what is this distortion, right? That is creating some sort of, it's like lack of completion, right? Because the Magician coming next is talking about the manifestation. So it's almost like, because there's still some sort of, it's like it's not complete, right? This co-creation, it's not coming to fruition, it's not manifesting, because I feel like there's still something that is creating this distortion, right? So what is the distortion? And I feel like that's, of course, going to be different for everyone. But if you access, it's like this wisdom, this inner wisdom, because this is how the hat of the Magician is showing up today for you. It's like, go inside your mind, go inside your subconscious, go inside yourself, and that's where you're going to find the exact piece that is creating the distortion, right? It's almost like something that is not fitting, it's not matching, right? It's like it's still, it is co-creating, right? Because it's the 3, but it's co-creating something that you don't want to materialize. So in a sense, it is bringing some kind of manifestation, not the type, or not the kind, or not the level that you wish, right? So in order to correct that, it's like you have to navigate what is underneath this hat, so what is hidden, right? But I feel like you are aware of like where to find this piece, right? It's like you know where to look for it. It's like you know that it's hidden inside this hat, or inside your subconscious. So it's not that you are completely lost, right? It's like you have clear knowingness of, the fact that yes, some of it is being co-created with distortion, but you are intended to correct this manifestation by correcting the distortion. because the distortion is going to reveal to you, or the process of seeking this distortion, it's actually going to free you in a sense. The Empress here is this, it's like the sensation of unveiling something that was being kept, you know, like protected or guarded, or like, it's like, because what I'm seeing, the contrast between the Magician that is like just keeping things under this hat, and then here this Empress, which it's like the open wings flying high as you can. It's like, you know, here you're just tucking your wings behind you, or, you know, it's something that it's subconsciously happening, so you're not aware that you have been hiding your own wings or not using your own wings. Maybe that is part of the distortion, right? Because the Empress talks about abundance, right? Even in the physical sense. So if the manifestation that was being co-created based on the Three of Swords, and you have, you know, reached the conclusion that that's not what you want anymore, it's like, it's because underneath this hat, which is your, it's like, it's your subconscious, right? It's like your subconscious mind is what is hidden, is like the secrets that you keep inside your brain, inside your being. And so the moment that you release that, the moment that you look for it, right? Because it's like just the process of seeking that, it's actually what is going to liberate the wings, right? Because it's like here they were tucked inside, they were hidden, here they are free, right? So the manifestation is free to happen in an undistorted way, undisturbed way, right? And so here, the reason why I feel like you are a little bit still unsure how to fly with your own wings, in a sense, it's because what you are seeking together with this revelation of what is going to correct this distortion, right, is this emotional security, or the emotional insecurity that perhaps you feel like you are right now, right? Because maybe there has been some sort of cheating or treason or lying, or, you know, maybe just self-sabotage, right? Maybe this is not related to somebody else. And as I said in the beginning, it's like, the reason why you can correct this is because it doesn't depend on anybody else other than you, right? You are the one identifying this. You are the one looking in the right place because you know where to find this distortion. And then you are the one releasing yourself from the imprisonment of a life of abundance, a life of richness, a life of, you know, beauty, a life of freedom, really, right? Because it's, you know, the compression, the suppression of keeping things tucked away. And then here, it's like, it's open, it's free, right? It's like, you know, I'm just picturing like a dancer flowing, right? It's like this very gentle and light move, right? But here, it's almost like this is where maybe the insecurity lies, or maybe it's like the reason why this was being perpetuated for so long, right? Because you need, in a sense, Gemini, this emotional security. And until you find it, it's like you maybe don't have this launch pad to really just fly off, right? And take off. It's almost like you're experimenting. It's almost like the initial phase of this discovery, right? It's almost like you see that there is a distortion. You feel like this is not the type of co-creation that you want to keep on having in your life, right? So it's almost like you don't want to sabotage yourself anymore. You don't want to allow these distorted things to enter your field anymore, the field of co-creation. You want to manifest a life of abundance, a life of freedom, a life where you can express, right? And you can enjoy the beauty of it. But it's almost like the first moment, it's almost like, because I'm seeing this as like, the wings were inside this hat, so they were squeezed in a sense, right? The moment that you look to your manifestation, or to what you have been holding up or holding back, it's like it's actually this abundance, right? And so the moment that this comes off, it's like you're just spreading your wings, right? It's like just accommodating to a new space, a new level of understanding, right? No more secrets, or no more hiding, or no more allowing your subconscious to co-create distortions. It's like you're just accommodating to a new state of being, right? One that, the word that I'm receiving right now is like one that is more gracious, one that is more like abundant and expansive, right? But here, before you can fully just fly away and, you know, fly high, I want to say, you need this emotional security, right? It's like this is the launch pad, this is the foundation, the emotional foundation that is going to make you feel like it's not a matter of just having beautiful wings, but in fact using those beautiful wings to create, to manifest the life that you want. But here, the moment that you realize that the emotional security or insecurity in whichever side of things you are still, right? Because I feel like it's this moment to adapt. It's like here you have been co-creating a life of distortion, right? Even if it was like a minor distortion, but still there was a distortion. But now that you are identifying that that's not what you want, that what you really want to manifest is this, it's like you are just realizing that you can, right? It's like giving yourself the permission. But with the Four of Cups being followed by the Six of Cups, here comes the remembrance, right? Because I feel like this is the runway. Here was like your launch pad, your emotional launch pad, and here it's the emotional runway. But it's beautiful because it's almost like you have already done this maybe in the past. So it's almost like go back to a memory, a specific memory where you took off for the first time, or where you took a risk, and it's almost like learning how to ride a bike, right? It's like that was a moment that you took off, right? It's like at first, you know, as a baby, it's like we learn how to crawl, and then we learn how to walk on 2 feet, and then it's like slowly we are progressing and progressing and progressing. So go back to those memories where you were like having those leaps, right? These growing leaps. And then the moment that you realize that you have done that, it's like it's not going to be difficult for you to surpass this insecurity, the emotional insecurity. So you're going to be able to remember something that is already with you. It's like it lives inside your heart, right? With all of this watery energy, which is fascinating because Gemini being, you know, an air sign, maybe this is very unusual for you, right? It's like navigating your own waters, but remembering that those waters are exactly what make your heart like very stable, right? With the Four of Cups, very stable. It's like you need a stable heart to launch into something that you know that you can, right? Because you have done that. So it's almost like if you go back to the past in a moment in time where your heart was free to fly, right? There was no impediment, or maybe you haven't been pierced by the distortion, right? Because if we think of, you know, the traditional meanings of the Three of Swords and the Ace of Cups, you know, it's almost like this broken heart, and here your heart is intact. So it's almost like remember a time when you didn't have this thing that was creating the distortion in your heart, this emotional instability, the emotional insecurity, right? And realize that actually you're the one who are able to launch yourself. But it's like launching yourself and going back to this memory, right? Because this is the runway so that you can really take off again. It's like you have to go back to a moment where your heart was very pure, was very intact, right? It hasn't been distorted. So it's like it's healing the heart because you can identify where the wound is, right? The star is talking about the healing, the healed heart, right? Because the healed heart is able to fly higher than you thought you could, right? But you have done so in the past. So it's almost like these moments of like expansion and contraction, because the four to me can represent the comfort zone, right? So it's almost like you get to a point where you are, it's like here maybe you have grown used to your distortion, but it comes to a point where this is no longer working for you, right? So you want to change your manifestation, the things that you are co-creating. So you experiment with revealing or releasing your own wings from that confinement. And so the moment that you do so, it's almost like you reach a point where you are safe, secure, stable enough, emotionally stable enough with your own wings. And then from this point on, it's like this is the launch pad where you're ready to take off. But taking off means restoring the heart in a sense, right? It's like this Six of Cups, it's almost like tying back now with the yesterday's reading for Taurus that was talking about this weird sense of time, traveling through time. It's like it came up in the extended, so I don't know if you've seen, but it's almost like this realization that going forward and going backwards has the same power, right? And so here it's kind of like that. It's like you are going to be launched to your next big thing, right? To the life of abundance that you want, but you have to remember that you have done that. So that's the reason why you have this confidence, or maybe the emotional security, the emotional stability to do that again, because it's almost like remembering how you can heal perhaps from a heartbreak. Maybe you have already done that, so you know how to do so. It's like you don't have to keep on perpetuating this, right? It's like that's not the co-creation that is going to take you to a life of abundance. It's not going to create the manifestation that you want, the freedom that you want. But here, it's like you know that your heart is able to recuperate, right? To be restored, to be filled with love again, but also like this healing, especially because the bottom of the deck is the wound itself, right? The Five of Wands, to me, the fives, they are pointing to specific location. And I feel like you already are doing that with the Three of Swords. It's like you already are able to pinpoint where this distortion is in your co-creation, right? In your field, or in your mind, in your subconscious mind. And when you go to look for the correction, right, in the right place, it's like you find that you have had these wings ready to fly since forever, right? So it's like you are your own north light, your own north star in a sense, your own guiding light, right? It's like you know that you're able to heal yourself, heal your heart, because you're able to pinpoint where the wound is, and you're not afraid of going straight there, right? It's like because you are accessing everything that is hidden. You're not afraid to do that or to go there, right? Because you know that at the same time that the magician might be hiding the wound or protecting the wound, right? Tucking away your maybe fear of success, right? Fear of having abundance perhaps, or fear of flying higher, right, than what you are accustomed to. It's like here, the magician is also saying that together with the wound is the healing, right? So it's almost like go straight to where this piercing happened, or, just made a hole in your heart, right? With the Three of Swords. And then you know that it's like that you found, right? You found the wound, therefore you can heal from that place, right? So Gemini, I feel like it's very, very clear. It's like you are pretty much aware, even though you're navigating the water realm, which might not be your usual. It's like it starts with the sword. So this is your realm in a sense. That's the reason why I feel like you're able to really go straight to the core of it, right? So yeah, I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.